Have you ever said, "I can't make it tonight," and then kept going? You added a reason, then another reason, then a small apology, just in case one reason wasn't enough. Nobody asked you to explain that much, you just couldn't stop. Here's the truth. This isn't a bad habit. It's not you being too talkative. Psychology says over-explaining is often a survival response. Your nervous system learned a long time ago that words could keep you safe. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why your brain does this, where it started, and how you can finally learn to say less without feeling unsafe. Let me tell you about a girl named Maya. Growing up, a short answer was never enough in her house. If she said, "I forgot," her parents pushed back. "Why did you forget? What were you doing instead? Are you lying to us?" So Maya learned something quietly without anyone teaching her directly. A short answer invites suspicion. A long answer buys safety. Years later, Maya is 30. She's in a work meeting and her manager asks why a report is a day late. Maya could say, "I needed one more day." Instead, she gives a 2-minute explanation with 3 reasons, an apology, and a promise it won't happen again. Her manager just nods. He wasn't even upset, but Maya's body didn't know that. It reacted the way it always does, like she was still a child standing in that kitchen, waiting to be believed. This is what psychologists call fawning. You've probably heard of fight, flight, and freeze. Fawn is the 4th response. It means calming a threat by becoming agreeable, accommodating, and detailed. When a child grows up in a home where mistakes lead to criticism, or where love feels conditional on being good enough, the brain learns a simple rule. More words might mean more safety. And that rule doesn't disappear when the danger does. It just keeps running in the background even decades later, even in rooms full of people who were never a threat at all. Over-explaining shows up in a few clear places. 1, it shows up with people pleasers. If you feel responsible for how others feel, a short answer can feel selfish. So you soften it, you justify it, you explain it until the other person seems okay. 2, it shows up with anxiety. Silence feels dangerous when your mind fills every gap with worst-case scenarios. What if they think I'm lying? What if they think I don't care? So you keep talking, hoping the next sentence will finally close that gap. 3, it shows up in neurodivergent minds. For some autistic individuals, over-explaining is tied to being deeply misunderstood in the past and wanting, this time, to be understood clearly. For people with ADHD, it can come from impulsivity or from never quite knowing how much detail is enough. And 4, it shows up heavily in women because many were raised to be polite, agreeable, and careful not to seem demanding. Directness was taught as risky, softness was taught as safe. So explanation became more than protection. It became a quiet form of emotional labor. Here's the part that really matters. Over-explaining doesn't usually create the safety people are hoping for. At work, a long justification for a small delay can actually make someone sound less confident, not more responsible. In relationships, constant reassurance can exhaust a partner and create distance instead of closeness. And most painfully, in families, this pattern often gets replayed with the very people who caused it in the first place. You're still trying to be believed by the same room that once doubted you. The deepest cost isn't external, it's internal. Every time you defend a simple choice, you send yourself a quiet message. My first answer wasn't enough. Repeated enough times, that message becomes belief. And slowly, you stop trusting your own voice before anyone else even responds. Here's what the research also shows. This pattern can change, but not through force or shame. You can't just tell your nervous system to relax. It has to learn slowly that clarity is safe. One simple practice is the 1-sentence rule. State your point, then stop. Let the silence sit there, even if it feels uncomfortable at first. Another is asking a simple question before adding detail. Would you like more context? This turns over-explaining into a choice instead of an automatic reflex. And finally, notice your triggers. Certain people, certain tones, certain kinds of questions will always pull you toward that old habit. Naming them is often the first step to interrupting them. If you over-explain yourself, it doesn't mean you're too much or too sensitive or hard to deal with. It means somewhere along the way, your voice had to work harder just to be believed. But you don't have to keep proving that anymore. You are allowed to say one sentence and let it be enough. The next time you feel that pull to add just one more reason, pause for a second. Ask yourself, am I explaining because they need this or because I still need to feel safe? That single question can change the way you speak for the rest of your life. If this felt personal, you're not alone. Subscribe, because next week we're going deeper into the psychology of people who say too little until one day they say too much all at once.